Alright, so before we start diving into our detail view, I just want to first create a detail view, uh, detail view model to basically handle all the data publishing, data formatting stuff. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to use we're going to create a view model, and in that view model we're going to supply the activity and the repository, and whenever we get the stats we're going to publish those stats using combine. Okay, so let's go ahead and create that. So I'm going to create a new file, and we're going to select a Swift file this time, and we're going to create detail view model. Okay, and this detail view model is going to have a health kit, and we're going to create a final class detail view model observable object. We're going to have activity, we're going to have repository, and we're going to have a published variable called stats, which is going to be an array of health stat. Okay, we will need probably a date formatter, so let's take create a date formatter. So we're going to create a date formatter from formatter is equal to date formatter formatter dot date format is equal to dd/mm return formatter, like that. Okay, and we can create an initializer that will take an activity and repository. Okay, for the repository we're gonna request health stat for activity.id. Now let me take you back to the activity itself. If you remember, the ID itself is represented by these strings that ultimately ties into this category section that actually returns the HK quantity type ID or identifier, right? So that's what we are passing here, activity.id, and on the completion we get health stats. Okay, so we take that and we say self.stats is equal to health stats that we have just received. All right. Now there's one more thing I want to create. So I want to create a measurement formatter. So whenever we are getting the walking or running distance, what happens is basically the health kit provides us the information in meters. Now I want that information in miles, or depending upon where you live, you might need that information in kilometers or anything. So in those cases we need to actually make that measurement conversion. So for that we will need a measurement formatter. So let's go ahead and create a measurement formatter. Okay, and we're gonna initialize it right here, measurement formatter. Okay, and we're gonna create a function. So we're gonna say value from stat HK quantity. Okay, and this is gonna return a tuple with value and description. All right, we're gonna first guardlet, and guardlet is gonna check for the stat. Okay, if we are getting the stat. If not, then the return value will be will be 0 and empty. Okay, so we're gonna return from here, right? If not, then we're gonna first set the measurement formatter unit style to be long. Okay, and we're gonna say if the stat. Now we're gonna compare if the stat is compatible with. Okay, so first thing we're gonna check if it's the kilo calories. That means it's the energy burned. Okay, then we get the value stat dot double value for dot kilocalories, right? And we return that value as int and stat dot description, like that. Okay. Now else if the stat is compatible with. So next section we have meter. So if it's the walking or running distance, then we get the value first. Double value for meter, for mile. Actually we're gonna say for mile. So we're gonna convert that, right? And we're gonna say unit is measurement and measurement takes value, so we're gonna supply the value for the unit length as miles. Okay, and we're gonna return int of value that we got and the measurement formatter dot string from unit. It's gonna give us the conversion from meter to miles. Okay, else if stat is compatible with count, then that means it's the steps data. Then we're gonna say let value is equal to stat dot double value for count. Okay, and return int of value and stat dot description. Okay, so we got the count. Let's take a consideration of a minute. So stat is compatible with minutes, so minutes of workout, right? In that case we are going to simply copy this, and I'm going to change this cumulative value to minute, double value for minute, and we're going to return that stat. Okay, otherwise we're going to return simply 0 and an empty. Okay, so this is our view model. So let's go ahead and build this. Everything should succeed. Okay, now next what we're going to do is we are going to create our detail view. Okay, so next up we're gonna create our detail view, and we're gonna basically create our view model, initialize it, and publish the results and test the after making the final integration, test the app out. Okay,